We're back. Another week out North Journal.
Danny, absolutely.
Danny, throw some shade on us.
Oh, hold on. We're missing something.
We are scrambling tonight, folks, trying to get this show together. And I'm going to warn everybody right now that after the last 3 or 4 days that I've had, I am slap happy as a goose tonight. So
excuse me, everybody.
This could be interesting. Take that temp down to all the way to 3,100. Them things look a little different. The lighting looks different over there.
3,100?
32 or whatever it is. Go all the way as far down as you can go on that. 36. There you go. Do the same thing on the other one. Danny's trying to make me look green tonight.
Oh, they're way out.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. That is good. We're going to share a little bit here, and we will get rocking with tonight's show. Like Danny said in the other quick preview, get out of the camera. Man alive. I'm going to scare everybody away. Sorry for the 5 people who are watching right now that just tuned in that Danny just scared the living daylights out of you. But
I'm back.
Yeah, we pulled an audible tonight.
Yes, we did. You know what? It was worth it.
It was.
When you pull an audible for this gentleman, it is just called class.
That's right.
Like glass.
That's right. Okay. I've got 2, and I got 1 more. Dan, you better get on the ball here, man. I'm sharing away.
I was making you look good.
Yeah, Whatever you'd like to say. And there's the last one, so I'm ready. That is up and rolling. And you let me know when you're ready, Mr.
I will.
DeFaw.
I will.
Hope everybody's got their Hunter's Blend. We had this over at Spot Shooter Archery. And
people were trying it. We're liking it.
Yeah, good stuff. Actually, we sold a good amount over there as well.
Yeah, we didn't do too badly. I tell you what, in the morning, man, it was going like hotcakes.
It was. Okay. All right. You let me know when you're ready, and I will hit record, my friend.
All right.
Our guest, I see, is anxiously awaiting.
Oh, he is.
He's saying, Danny, hurry up. I don't have all night.
Scroll.
Hopefully everybody had a good weekend. Hey, Jim Miller, what's going on? Jason Radecki just got home from his first Detroit Tiger game. They retired Alan Trammell's number. Hey, man.
Yes, they did.
That was a great game to be at.
They retired Alan Trammell's jersey this week. A couple weeks ago was
Jack Morris.
Yeah. Got 1 more to go.
That's right. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm going to hit record. And in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal, everybody. Host Mike Adams, Dan DeFoss sitting in the cabin. It's been a great week. I'm tired, I'm wore out, and I'm slap happy.
It was pretty busy. It was pretty busy this Saturday, and you know what? Got up this morning, took the dogs out for a little stroll, and boy, was it thick.
Was it? Fog?
70 degrees and 70 dew. The numbers
dew point
match.
Okay, right on.
So it was thick.
Gotcha.
So, but you know what? It was busy, but we made it back to the cabin.
Well, we talked a little bit about what we wanted to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
We've both been busy working. We've both been busy with a couple of shows and things of that nature. And we decided that since one of our good friends and actually one of our supporters here at Up North Journal was online, and we got a hold of him. You want to jump right into it?
Get him on.
All right. Tim Sias, what are you doing in Harts, West Virginia, my friend? How's it going tonight?
It is going awesome tonight. Waiting for Up North Journal. Talk a little bit of hunting.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit of hunting. We're going to talk a little bit about fall hunting, matter of fact. That's going to be the cool part because you know what? It might be, I don't know, it was probably 90 out there or whatever it was today. And,
yeah.
But it's going to cool down.
It is going to cool down.
I know Friday morning we had a couple cool mornings.
Early goose season kicks in, but then we got small game. We got archery season, but also fall turkey season. So what better person to have on than the guy from Lim Walker Game Calls himself? What are you thinking about fall turkey season there?
Looking forward. It is exciting. October the 13th, Lincoln County, here where I live and reside, will be having our fall season. It'll go from Saturday to Sunday. And we're actually looking forward to it because we've got plenty of turkeys that we can hunt down in here where I'm at.
Well, down in West Virginia, I don't know how the seasons run down there compared to like what we're used to up here. Actually, where I hunt, we cannot hunt turkeys in the fall. We just don't have that big a population. But here where we live, where Danny and I live, we're allowed to. And we're also allowed to shoot a hen in the fall. Is that can you do that there where you're at or no?
Yeah, it's either six.
Okay, so.
Okay.
Either six.
Yeah.
It is determined, here where we're at and through the state, it is determined on how the harvest is in the spring.
Oh,
if
okay.
we have a good harvest in the spring, and with the numbers, they also do West Virginia DNR does a turkey survey through the spring. And a lot of hunters turn in their survey results, and that will help with determining whether or not we're going to have a fall season.
Okay, so has there ever not been a fall season due to the survey in recent memory?
Oh, yeah. They're actually, they'd go a couple of years, and we'd have the seasons, and then they'd slack them off. And we may have went 2 or 3 years. And then there's counties down here that surrounding that may not have had a season when one county did. So, yeah, it's now this year the whole state's got one. It's not sparingly like it has been.
Okay.
All right, cool. Good job. And, you're the call master there. What's the tactics upcoming for the fall season for you?
It depends. If you're a steel hunter that likes to get out and spot and stalk, some people like to bust up a flock and sit down and try to call them back to them, and that's using an assembly call, lost call of the hens. I know some will try to locate them enough to where the morning they know where they're roosting. They get in there in the morning, and so with the way everything is, they'll try to call when they call them off the roost, when they call them off the limb, try to get them to you. Or a tactic here that I'm sure y'all are familiar with, they like using turkey dogs.
Oh, okay.
Like grouse. So they've trained turkey dogs to go out and bust the flock up. They get in a certain area where they busted them up, and they sit down and call just like the mama hen will assemble them back together. And that dog is sitting right beside them, and they don't move.
I have never heard of that before. Seriously, I mean, I've never heard of using dogs to hunt turkey with. That's interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a big sport. Pennsylvania, New York. I have several friends up in that area through Facebook that they use the dogs, and they're very successful with it. And there's been one time in West Virginia, I was in Greenbrier County, and I come across a man, a woman, and his son that had 2 bird dogs, and I was talking to them. We was out hunting, and I thought maybe they might have been grouse hunting, but they were turkey hunting. So that was the first time I'd ever come across one. Yeah, so and those dogs are really, if you can see those dogs, they don't move. They don't. It's like they won't. Their tails will not wag. Oops, sorry. The tails won't wag. They don't do that, like not even breathing. When that turkey's coming up to them, they're trained that well.
Man,
wow.
that's amazing.
That is incredible. So now you're talking about bird dogs. What type of breed of dogs? I mean, specifically, is there a certain breed of dog that they use, or is there a wide range of dogs?
Springers, spaniels, labs. I know there's one person got a lab that I know that it's just the way they're trained that not moving. Once they sit down and they start calling, those dogs know not to move. And springers and spaniels are probably the best.
Have you ever heard of that, Danny?
I've heard of it.
For turkeys.
Yeah, for turkeys, I've heard of it where they take the dog in, they'll bust it up, and they'll sit. And
that's incredible.
I think it's amazing.
I'd love to see that.
To be able to get a dog to do that.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised it really up in your all's area. You guys up in your area in Wisconsin and stuff, you guys was good with the grouse population.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that they don't have that with the turkey dogs.
I've never heard of it, but quite honestly, I don't even know if there's a law that says you can't do it. There might be. I don't know. I'll have to look. I mean,
and that's you're talking about that, Tim. The fall hunting here is it's interesting because I really don't know how heavily fall turkey hunting is, because for me, we're often running into October, and that's bow season.
Yeah.
And it's like, so the fall turkey season is kind of like, okay, if I get there.
Yeah, I think for me, if I was, if I'm up in my area hunting, and I mean, I see birds, they're there, and I see mostly hens that I remember, because I really just don't pay a whole lot of attention to them. I've seen a young a Jake mess with a young deer.
Oh, I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, back when we could actually use bait back in the day, a long time ago. I was sitting in a tree stand and I was watching. We had a little corn sprinkled out, and the turkey come in and he was chasing the young deer off, and that was hilarious. To see them two circling each other, going back and forth. But yeah, I'm more concentrated on deer hunting at that point. But if we were able to hunt them and I had a tag, yeah, I would probably use my bow.
Right.
That's the way it is down here. The guy, the majority of the hunters around here, they're bow hunters, and it's far and few on fall turkey hunters, simply because they'd rather be out for the big bucks. They're looking for the wall hangers, and I don't blame them. If I'm out there the week that the season is open here, if I don't have a shotgun, if I got my bow and the turkey comes, and I won't sling an arrow to him.
Right on. Yeah.
You've been waiting.
That's going to be like a prize. Kill them all with your bow.
Right, exactly. And then, you've been waiting all year for bow season.
Right. I got deer and I got a turkey. Which one am I going to go after?
Yeah, right.
I'm going to go after deer and put meat in the freezer.
Right, exactly. So, it's that time of year. And it's funny because kind of like what's happening in the sports world, same thing with the hunting world. Bow hunting, grouse hunting, all those small game hunting, everything's kicked off.
Right, yeah. It's, when you get to 1st of September, man, it's just like everything goes crazy, It's, if you're an outdoor sportsman and a sports watcher, you're pulled between the two. Well, let me ask you this. I know you like to get out in the woods in the fall. Do you take your cell phone with you, and do you keep up with football games as you're out in the woods, Tim?
No, I don't have signal down here to do it.
You're lucky. I've let more deer walk past me because I was trying to catch a score in a game or something instead of paying attention to what I'm supposed to be doing. That's dangerous.
Not down here where I'm at. They're not even on top of the mountain. I can't even get a signal. So no, I have my gun. I mean, my gun. Shoot, I have my phone with me for pictures, obviously,
but you don't have a signal.
No.
Well, that goes back to how the signals work on cell phones.
Right, yeah.
It's line of sight.
Right. Well, you think being on top of a mountain down there where he's at in the mountains,
you would think
he could pull a signal in, so.
Right, exactly.
So.
But, yeah, it's,
Well, talking about deer hunting, Tim, you do a live show Friday nights, 7 o'clock, right? 7 or is it 8? 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Okay, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
On the limb, and I pop over there every now and then if I got a few minutes at work, and we're just going to go ahead and throw this out here.
Before you do,
uh-oh,
an update from Jim the Turkey Man Miller.
Okay.
You can use the dogs in the fall.
Okay, and that's from our NWTF president here locally. So, yeah, you can use turkey dogs, I guess. You can use dogs for turkey in the fall. Thanks, Jim.
said.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely, Jim.
Good info. But we were I chimed in, was talking with Tim, and he had mentioned on his show about 2-3 weeks ago about canning deer meat. And I've heard of it, never done it. So Tim is gracious enough this year when he gets a deer, we're gonna do a combo show. He's gonna come on just like we're doing right now, but he's gonna be showing us how to can deer meat.
I've never had it, never tasted it. I'd be inclined to do so, just like you did with Hart.
Oh yeah, deer heart. Trying it for the first time. Yeah, I've had canned deer meat before. My grandmother Adams used to can a lot, and I remember having canned deer meat back in the day. But as they say down south, your tongue will jump out and slap you upside the head. It's so good,
right?
So, you want to talk a little bit about that, Tim? While I got you on, I mean, just you guys do a lot of that down there, right?
Yeah. We're actually. I have recruited a few people. We are on a mission to make sure we get a deer.
Uh-oh, the word has gone out from Tim. Get a deer.
Yeah. I have me, myself, and Arnold Killen and little Lucas Browning. We are on a mission to make sure we get a deer, preferably a doe, and we're going to make sure that we get the meat and have it all set up. And I'm actually wanting to have it ready. I'm going to do one batch, kind of like a cooking show does.
Okay.
To where, I do the preparations and show you how to do it, and then how they go, and the end results are, and I'll have some done. So, okay. But it's not hard. It's just you just make sure that you have it's just pure meat, no fat or anything. And I use little pint jars, and when you put it down in, and you put a flavoring like either an onion or a beef bouillon cube. Some others will put a garlic clove in, doing different things, and then set in the canner and do it for 90 minutes. Let it pressure cook. It's done.
I tell you,
I'm looking forward to it.
If you're gonna do some and have some already finished, take you a little half-pint jar and ship it up here to Danny so he can try it live on the show.
I was planning on it.
And as we talk about this, it has started. The people on Facebook are Tom Gensel, Jim is the big dog, which he is. Don Gibson is calling this the Great Canned Deer Meat Debate.
Okay.
And he does say canned deer meat is the best.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, I tell you. So, yeah, we'll get Danny's reaction if we can make this happen. But I'm looking forward to that. We'll do a limb walker on the limb show / Up North Journal show.
Right, I'm good with that.
I just think there might be a deer down there with UNJ, tattooed on the side of it. So they get one for us.
Yeah, there already is. I said I got Arnold. Arnold's going up in his where he lives, and he's scouting out and picking out which one we can get. And that way, it'd be a good tender doe and make it good to cut up and have ready to put in those little jars. So even my mom, she wants to come down. My mom wants to be a part of it. She likes the can. She's 72 years old.
That is awesome. We're just going to get everybody involved. I mean, this is going to be a frenzy, an internet frenzy. We'll blow the internet up,
We can do that,
man. So, hey, I tell you what, though, we're bumping up here on our first break. So, let's step outside real quick. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation here. We'll be right back after this. For those of you on the live stream,
Kevin. Was at the Tiger game today, and he said it was crazy hot. Kevin, imagine what Paws was feeling inside the Paws costume when he was taking the picture with you.
Right.
He got in a costume like that just to take a picture with Kevin.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I would like to have been down to that game today. I know some other people.
I know a few people that went
down there.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people that went down, but I've been down there when it's been hot like this, man. It's basically you're roasting on cement. Especially with the humidity where it was at. Oh.
Well, down where you're at down there in Virginia, what's your favorite baseball team, or do you pay attention to baseball, Tim?
The Atlanta Braves.
Oh no, he's even got the hat right there.
Man,
that didn't take long. He about broke his neck getting that thing put on so quick.
Hey, listen, I have been a Braves fan even through the rotten years.
Oh, man, that is funny.
He's going to start doing the chop here in a second if you watch it. There you go.
That's good.
Hey, do you got any calls handy?
You got any of your calls handy? You got any of your calls handy?
Yeah, I got a couple here.
Can you do like the assembly call and that and stuff?
Yeah, we'll do that right when we come back here.
Okay.
Hang on 1 second here. Let's get this next section rolling. Okay.
Boy, we're talking deer, canned turkey debate.
Atlanta Braves.
Jeez.
Detroit Tigers, the whole 9 yards.
Right. We covered all.
Right on. Okay. Here we go. Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Second segment of the show. For those of you on the live that weren't on the live stream, you're listening to the podcast. You missed a whole debate about baseball.
Yeah, right.
And you missed Tim just about breaking his neck here, putting his Atlanta Braves hat on. So.
Was he quick or what?
That was like lightning.
You would have thought it was like a big buck coming out, or a huge Tom Turkey walking and strutting into the field. Man, it was like quick.
That was funny. So, hey, Tim, you talked a little bit before we went to break. We were talking about calls and using different calls in the fall. You talking about that assembly call. Kind of run through some of the sequences that you use out in the field, so guys that maybe want to try to get out this fall might know what to use.
Well, I like in the fall you can get an assembly call, and that's what the mama hen is doing when if you bust them up, and they've got all them little Jakes and Jennies that's run everywhere, and they're going from one place to the other. Then the boss hen, she'll get like in a certain centralized location.
Okay.
And she'll sit there, she'll stand there, and when she's trying to gather them all in, she'll just start. And she just used that cadence for even longer.
Okay.
And that gives it out enough to where that's going to get those small ones, those Jakes and Jennies, back to her.
I got you. Okay.
And then also too, a little bit of, doing a kiki that they use, and not the dance, but the kiki what the Jakes and Jenny does.
Mm-hmm.
That's good in the fall too. So it's and the Jakes and Jennies, which this is on aluminum disc, the young ones are kikiing. That's ones that can't come right out with a full yelp or full calc or anything.
Right.
And they're doing the kiki, and that will help them. And that will help you locate the bigger adults too, the mama hens.
Okay, gotcha.
So I carry that out too. But mostly for hens. Now, let me stress this. You can have, Jakes and gobblers are still going to, off the roost, they're going to gobble a time or two.
Okay.
They're still going to do that in the fall. And they'll call a little bit. But they're not as vocal as what
the spring is.
A hen is.
Okay.
Yeah. Mama hen's looking after her babies. And she's got that certain yelp, and then them babies are going to go to her. And so they're not, it's a little harder to call in. If you're sitting at a place and you've got a flock of gobblers coming around and you're able to kill a fall gobbler, that's a trophy. I don't know too many people that's really going to sit there and call them in to you. But now the Jakes, Jennies, and the hens, if you get them busted up, you're going to call them right back.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Now,
that's kind of cool.
Now, the assembly call, the kiki you're using your aluminum. What were you using for the assembly?
That's my red slate.
Red
no,
slate.
No. I'm sorry. It is my little plastic pot that I got. It's a crystal surface.
Okay.
And it's actually over slate.
Okay.
But that's my crystal surface.
Okay. All right.
Well, you better tell us, Tim, where we can find these calls. Everybody wants to know. They're listening to them.
Well, I do not have a website, but you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, or even YouTube at Lem Walker Game Calls.
Make sure you guys get over there and gals get over there and check out the full assortment of calls.
Absolutely, or get a hold of us and we'll get you in touch with Tim.
Yeah. You actually can get a hold of us. We'll get you. Make sure you get right over to the page and be able to see what he's got available over there to use for fall and for spring as well. So
right, exactly.
I was looking at something here, and Brent Farrell said he put a message up, Tim. He says, "Don't worry, Tim." He says, "I'll get the deer for you." So he said, "You're not going to have to worry at all."
And Tom Gensel said that Kiki just woke up his lab.
Nice.
Who we thought was out for the night.
Well, the lab must think he's getting ready to go turkey hunting.
Right?
Sorry, Tom.
That's good stuff.
You know, saw Tom yesterday at Bow Fest, and he picked up some Hunter's Blend coffee.
He did pick up some Hunter's Blend. He said it cost him a bow and some arrows as well.
Arrows were free.
That's right, because he bought a new bow. So
yeah,
it was a good day over there.
So is there in West Virginia when you're hunting in the fall? Is there time limits? Can you hunt all day?
Daylight to dark.
Okay, you can do all day hunts. I know some places you can only hunt at a certain time.
Yeah, no afternoon hunting.
Right, no afternoon.
Hunting. Right on.
Yeah.
Only in the spring. Only in the spring is they have the afternoon to 1:00.
Oh, it is that way there for you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's one thing we don't have to deal with here in Michigan. Don't give them any ideas.
Yeah.
They'll start switching that on us too.
They'll take that information.
Right.
They'll listen to that.
You know, something else that we've been talking about, at least you and I have, Tim, here recently, talking about bears. Have you seen any increased bear activity down there by you, seeing how we're getting ready to get into fall and they're starting to pack the pounds on, getting ready for winter?
Yeah, actually, our first archery or bear season opens up this Saturday.
Okay.
Oh, that's
It'll be over for a week.
Okay.
It'll be rifle, archery, and even with dogs.
okay.
So they do run dogs down there as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Now there's a certain time you don't, that you can't run dogs, and then there's they have two different seasons. I might be I need to read up. I believe it's 2 different split seasons. I know all of December you can run dogs, and this week coming up, starting next Saturday, you can run dogs. Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting.
There you go.
You know, the more you and I talk about different things and different styles of hunting and the way things are, it seems like where you're at there in West Virginia is a lot like, it reminds me of either the Upper Peninsula or the Northern Lower Peninsula here, where I hunt. You know, it just seems you're at a different elevation there, and you get a lot of more hollers and ravines and things of that nature, and deeper woods compared to like down here in the lower part where we're at, where there's a lot of ag fields.
Fields, and you've got swales, and you've got
more flat land.
Yeah, it's more flat, and
so it's interesting when we talk to people that are in different states and different styles of hunting and all that. It's pretty cool.
Now, even as you go up north, we're away from the agricultural, you know, the hay fields and things. But down here is the bigger mountain part. So, I mean, we're in coal country.
Okay.
You know, we're down in you know, southern West Virginia is the coal country. So that's the mountains. They're using it for the coal mines and stuff. So,
right.
Not too much flat land.
Right. I gotcha. You know, giving people a little bit of insight into you, you know, where did you cut your hunting teeth at? I mean, how did you get started in hunting? Was it as a youngster? Did you pick it up later in life? Was it somebody in the family, or how'd that work for you?
My dad would carry me on his shoulders at the age of 2 and 3 years old, out chasing Norwegian elk hound, squirrel hunting to the mountains.
Okay.
When I told Dad I was tired, he would pick me up and carry me. He carried me back to the truck several times.
That is nice. You know,
and from then he's took me out of school. I know people might frown at that, but during the fall of the year, he's took me out of school to let me go hunting with him for a week. And then at the age of 17, he bought my first call, a lunchbox call, and said, "Here you go, son, you're on your own." So.
There you go.
Now,
there's no problem with taking somebody out of school for teaching them something.
Well, that's what I was just getting ready to say. You know, my dad did that with me. Come deer season, you know, we would take, you know, an extended time off plus the weekend. I don't know if I probably didn't take a full week off, but I remember missing school. And it used to be like a state holiday here in Michigan, November 15th, the opening day of rifle season. You know, and it's not that way anymore. You know, it's kind of sad.
Not so much down here.
Yeah, you just don't see it. I mean, I've taken all my kids up north deer hunting, you know, and I was like, hey, go tell your teacher, get your homework, because, you know, you're going to be missing school. You're going to miss a couple days of school. And they're like, well, Dad, if I tell them that, they're probably, you know, not going to like it. And I said, I don't care what they like, you know, but, you know, that's a problem with, I'm not going to say all teachers, because our school has some teachers that are hunters, and they're few and far between. But yeah, the teachers, they kind of give them a little bit of a rough time. Not all of them, but some of them did.
That's the way we live.
When I was in school, we didn't get a whole week off of Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And now they do. Now they get the whole week off.
Okay, yeah. See, when we were in school, we'd go to that Wednesday, and if when I got old enough, we might normally it was after school we would leave to head up north.
Right.
But
on that Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, things have changed. They've definitely changed a lot, since from back in the day. But it's interesting. You talked about you said Norwegian hounds for run squirrel. We're just talking. I was talking with somebody. Oh, it was actually Thursday. I was doing an on the trail segment, and we were talking about getting some video and doing a squirrel hunt, and maybe running behind some treeing feists.
Okay.
Smaller feist dogs for that. So I've done that one time up here, run behind dogs, and it's a different hunt. It's very unique. It's a different style of hunting, than just sitting next to a tree waiting for the squirrel to come out.
Yeah, those feists can be a little feisty.
That's why they're called feist.
That's yeah.
Kind of like Danny.
Well, no, because that's what Axel is a mountain feist.
Okay.
So,
your dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not my dog. Let's get this straight. It's not my dog.
It's Dan's dog.
It's Erica's dog, okay?
Dan takes care of it.
No, Erica takes care of it. It was the last year we went to Woods and Water when you walk into a puppy tent.
Okay. So, and how many dogs are you going to bring home this year?
Shut up.
Oh, me.
But that little feist, though, when he's booking through the woods, it is kind of cool to see him. Yeah, I mean,
working?
Working, and then he's jumping off the tops of the logs, and now I have seen him miss.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Take a good rumble, but it is. There's something about being behind a dog, a good dog that's working, whether it's a feist or whether it's a bird dog or what have you. This week, like I said, we were out shooting on the trail, and we were doing a segment on training dogs out at the Huntsman Club out in Dryden, and they actually got to see some dogs work over top of birds. And there's just something about watching a good dog work. I don't know about down there. They do a lot of bird hunting where you said there's a grouse down that way, right?
They're not as much as they used to be, but yeah, we used to grouse that quite a bit.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Whether it be a German short hair or a spaniel or what have you.
Yeah, I had a Brittany. I had a French Brittany, a little black one.
Okay. And there's just something about a good dog working. It's just incredible to watch them. But what you were saying earlier about turkey dogs, that just blows my mind. You can get a dog to set that still.
I know, isn't it wild?
Because turkeys, they pick up any little tiny movement at all.
Right, exactly. And you get this dog that won't even, like Tim said, they won't even wag their tail.
Right. It's incredible.
It is.
That just comes back from the trainer of training the dogs and working with them and everything, every day. It's got to be every day, taking them out, doing and running and stuff. And so, a guy told me the attention span of a dog is about like the attention span of a 4-year-old. And it's about 20 minutes.
And that's the end of it.
And when you do what you want to do for that dog, what you want to work on that day for 20 minutes, then you put him up. And you don't touch him no more, because you're not going to get that dog to do anything. The next day, when he wakes up, when you're ready to go and do something, get him out and work him for 20 minutes and put him back up.
Okay. That's about right, because when I was working with my dogs, walking them and everything, it was about 20 minutes. 20-minute walk, half-hour walk is what it normally was.
So, they had enough, you could tell.
Yeah, you could tell. They were like, okay, had enough of you.
All right, it's time to go back and give me something to eat.
Right?
So
yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're bumping up on our next break here. Let's take a quick break. Come back. We'll continue the conversation here with Tim Sias from Harts, West Virginia. We'll be right back after this. Okay, if y'all on the live stream got anything?
Anything for Tom Gensel? That Kiki did was okay, Tim. Arnold Killian? Hey, Arnold.
That's my buddy Arnold. That's going to help me do the cannon.
Ah, okay.
All right. So get your canning skills ready, Arnold.
You've been doing? Have you been doing a lot of deer scouting or anything?
No, I haven't. Arnold does. Arnold, he does my deer scout.
Wow.
We hunt him behind his house.
Okay.
Man.
So he'll send pictures and he'll say, "Hey, got a 6-point down here eating tomatoes or eating corn out of his garden."
Nice.
Can you take care of them for me?
Yeah, but too long ago, we had a big bobcat out there. He was doing it, so
Really?
yeah, he's got a picture of bobcat.
Wow.
Alrighty. Here we go.
Third segment.
Let me switch this real quick. Here we go.
Hey, before you go back, I want to ask y'all a question.
Yeah.
Have you guys been on Expert Voice yet?
No.
You never. Don't do it.
Okay.
It'll drive you crazy. I had tried to get that figured out and could not do it.
Nope, I've not heard of that.
It's called Expert Voice.
Yeah, on the pro staff for heavy shot.
Oh.
Nope, not heard of it.
That and some of the Faradyne products. If y'all use the Faradyne.
We do use some of the Faradyne stuff.
Yeah, we
yes.
do use Faradyne.
Yep.
Yeah, Lord have mercy, it's crazy.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Well, I'll talk to you later about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stand by in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, third segment of the show. We are online with Tim Sias from On the Limb, from Limb Walker Game Calls, On the Limb show on Friday nights, 8 o'clock.
Right, exactly. You know, talking fall hunting is we're geared up for fall hunting,
And it's 90 degrees out here in Michigan.
It is. People got their cameras out. I'm excited to get up north next week, pull some cameras. I got to pull my cameras, probably replace the batteries, kind of take inventory, see what's going on. I'll be up there for the weekend and doing some work on the cabin and nothing like a little plumbing. Sounds good.
Getting everything ready. You know, in the break here, we were talking with Tim, and he doesn't do any scouting. He's got his own personal scout.
Tim is so good. He has people that scout for him. He's like the sharpshooter they call in. You know, they say, you know, we need you. Come on in. And he just walks in,
Gets the job done.
He probably doesn't even gut the deer. He just shoots it and walks away.
That's the way to do it.
Right? Absolutely.
No. Now I have to do the deed after it's all said and done.
Okay.
I just get little help. Where Arnold he'll tell me where to go.
Oh, okay.
He'll tell me what part of the hunting area that I need to be at, and I pretty much know where he's talking about. And he'll tell me what time I need to be there. You know, at a certain, if it's in the afternoon, early in the morning, or what have you. And he's got it down with his cameras, but as far as everything else, I've got to do it.
Man, he's got an appointment set for him. He's got his own personal hunting secretary.
That's good. Well, speaking of cameras, actually, we just got a question from Dan's brother, Terry.
Right.
He wants to know if you use cameras for scouting fall turkey. Do you use any trail cameras?
No.
No, you.
And the reason being is that I do not have an area that's private for me to put my cameras out.
Okay.
So I'm kind of afraid of putting them out for they'll be vandalized or stolen.
I totally agree with you that, and even on private property, things can
Grow legs?
and walk off.
Yeah.
I had that happen with a tree stand, so totally agree. It happens.
I have permission to hunt private areas, private land, but it's still open to travel.
Mm-hmm.
So there's vehicle travel through it, and it's kind of like it's private land, but it's still public land. Everybody is allowed to hunt in there.
Right.
Yep, exactly. And you know what? And matter of fact, I was looking at the catalog today. I was looking at some of the price of the cameras, right? And especially now these new ones are the cell phone ones, and
Right, the wireless cameras.
you're paying $400, $500 for a camera. You go stick that out there, and if somebody walks off with it, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money, and even like the ones that we use, you're talking, just under $200, between $150 and $200 for a good camera. I mean, that's a lot of money just to stick out there on a tree and watch walk away.
That's why I'm kind of nervous. I got 4 cameras out right now, and I'm wondering what I'm going to go back to.
You haven't seemed to have too many problems out here in the last year or two, have you?
No, not the last couple years. It was a few years back that we had some issues with the tree stand walking off, but so far nobody's touched the cameras.
Gotcha. Well,
Now, where you are, I have a question for you all. Where you are at, are you able, where your areas you all hunt in, do y'all have cell service?
yes, it's sporadic.
So you can install those ones that has the cell service to be able to send you pictures and everything then.
I think I could probably get away with it in most places where I hunt. There are some places where cell phone service is real sketchy. You know, we were talking earlier. I can set in my box blind up on the hill, and I can get part of a game. I can actually sit there and watch a little bit of football if I wanted to. You know, normally what I'm doing is just going through the sports ticker, just checking scores is what I'm doing.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I can get a cell signal.
Now with my property, and before I even say anything, Denny Steiner just joined us.
Hey Denny, hope you're feeling better, man.
Denny, yeah, hope you're feeling better and get well soon, man. My property, depending on where you're standing, you can either get cell service or no cell service. So if you're on the high side, kind of, you're going to get it. And then as you walk down towards the swamp, which is kind of close to the cabin, you kind of lose it.
Right.
And I barely get it at the cabin. If any, you hold the phone up and hope you get something.
Right.
But I don't think I could install. I don't know if the signal's strong enough there. Maybe on the high side in the hardwoods, I probably could.
I know Danny and I occasionally will be able to text each other a little bit during deer season. You know, when we're both up north, if we're both in the right blinds at the right time to where we can get a signal.
Well, that's it. If I'm in the one blind, I can't get out barely.
Right. So,
and then it depends on the weather too.
Oh, really?
It seems if it's a high sky day, I might have a little less. It might be harder to get a signal.
Okay.
Than if it
the one thing I like about having a phone with me and having service like that, Tim, is you can get yourself into some trouble real quick if you got some fronts moving through and you're trying to hunt the fronts, and all of a sudden it gets a lot worse than what you expect. I can watch storms rolling in, and I'll do that a lot. I'll check the weather, especially if it's sketchy. And if I need to get into a blind, get out of my tree stand, get down and get into a blind or something like that, that's one reason I like to have the phone with me as well, just for safety reasons.
Now, I will say this: if I am hunting in a place that does have service, I use the Onyx app.
Okay.
The hunting app, and that if somebody's looking for a good hunt, Onyx is excellent in my opinion. I'm just not saying it because we're partners and stuff, but that's very good. I mean, it breaks everything down on property, and
it is a very good app to use. I've noticed I've tried to use it at my place, and I just don't get. I don't think my
phone's strong enough.
Yeah, the signal's strong enough. I've had it update slowly, if at best.
Okay. Something else I heard they were doing, I haven't seen it yet this year, is they're doing an overlay for CWD zones, and that, for us here in Michigan, that's pretty important.
Absolutely.
To know where you're at with that as well.
Oh, yeah, that'd be excellent.
But I think most people that hunt Michigan, that live here, they know where those things are. Although Danny and I, we talked about this on last week's show, that there's still people we were running into in stores that didn't really understand the ramifications of CWD, that worked in the stores, and customers both that lived here in Michigan. And I found that a little odd, but it is what it is, I guess. But
lack of education.
Exactly.
And I'm sure you see that down there by you with your rules and regulations when you're talking with people, when you're out doing a show or something like that.
The CWD here in West Virginia, we have it in the Eastern Panhandle, and I have noticed that each year there's a different county that's getting colored in that says CWD in it, and it's like it's slowly moving south through the state, and that does concern me about how can they get this stopped, especially after watching your all show and watching and being educated with it. How long is it going to take till it gets down this area? What's going to be the repercussions of it, if we don't get it stopped.
What's the mindset down there generally with just the hunters in your area? I mean, are people talking about it? Are they concerned about it, or are they just like, it's something there? We know it's there. Oh well.
Well, where we're at down here, all the way in the southern part of the state, southwestern part of the state, we don't ever. I've never heard anybody talking about it.
Okay.
Only when you pull up, pick up the new regulations, and you see the little shaded counties that has CW. It's the CWD hot zone. CWD hot zone.
Okay.
So my question is,
It started out just one county, and now it's in about 4 or 5 now.
do they even test for it down there?
Well, they must
I
test
don't
for
know.
it in some way or another to know that it's there, unless they're pulling it out of high fence facilities. Maybe that's the case. I don't know.
It's up in next to Maryland. It's in the corner of Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Virginia in the Eastern Panhandle. If you're looking at it, it looks like the state. How it looks like a squashed frog. Well, I tell you what. Here, if you can see, it's in this part of the state through here.
Hold it up just a little bit higher, Tim. Just a little, there you go. Yep, I see what you're talking about now.
Okay.
It's in this part right through here. And the thing about it is, if you can see this bit right there, that county,
Yep.
it's Hardy County.
Uh-huh.
And you know how I told you a little bit ago how my dad would take me out of school in the fall?
Yep.
That county's where we used to go.
Okay.
And
Oh.
that county has CWD.
And that's up on that Pennsylvania border?
Well, that's next to the Virginia border.
Virginia border, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and we've talked to people. Well, Kip Adams from QDMA, he talks about the CWD being there in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
so,
Pennsylvania and
that's probably moved that way. So
right, exactly. And yeah,
it's interesting though how from one state to the other how the game officials deal with it and how it's perceived and how the public perceives it.
right,
So
right, exactly.
it's interesting. But you don't
Here,
know.
I tell you what. Here, Danny, Mike. You see that there? That's in our regulations.
West Virginia chronic wasting disease containment.
Okay.
Okay.
That's how they define it. Containment area.
Okay.
Yeah.
We call it a hot
That's
zone.
the part. That's the part that is where everything is. That's in the Eastern Panhandle.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So,
Interesting.
So they're watching it. They're trying to contain it.
Yeah. Well, what are they doing besides putting that in the pamphlets? I mean, is there any discussions from the state game officials, or is there any special rules that apply in that area, or is there any, like
well,
they're
you
going to try to
you can only bring meat out. No, you cannot bring no carcass, no bones, nothing
Yeah, it's
like
got to be deboned. No brain. No.
yeah.
Well, here, I tell you what, here I can read it here. Meat that has been boned out, this is for transportation. Quarters or other portions of meat with no part of the spinal column or head attached. Clean hide with no head attached. Clean skull plate with no meat or tissue attached with the antlers attached. Antlers with no meat or tissue attached, and finished taxidermy mounts is the only way that you could transfer meat or anything like that out of that area.
That's pretty much the
Same as
status,
here.
Yeah, status quo across
Same as here, and same as
other states.
several other states are bringing meat into this state.
Right.
Absolutely. That's
Well, are they up in their
Let me
quotas in that
say
area?
this.
Oh, go ahead.
Are they what?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Of course, about West Virginia has started a restoration program for elk.
Right.
So, and it's down in this area where I live at now, but we're not allowed to keep any of the shed antlers
Why is that?
because these came from Kentucky and from Arizona. They're not natural born West Virginia elk. And so they don't want to spread in case something got through from the testing that they done.
Mm-hmm.
So they done all they had them in quarantine when they were here. They were actually having fawns in the pens
Okay.
until the Department of Agriculture are the ones that govern and maintain everything.
Mm-hmm.
They still hadn't got permission from the Department of Agriculture to release these elk yet. And these cow elk were starting to have fawns or calves. So, but they had them in. They was making sure that they got all the test results back after the 90-day quarantine, and they were sending everything out, making sure the CWD was not in them. But they still will not let us keep the elk sheds. We either leave them lay or we turn them into the DNR.
That's interesting.
that is really interesting.
Yeah.
Odd. but interesting.
Yeah, because CWD is not in the antler.
Oh, really?
Well, you can get taxidermy work and take it out. You know, that's bone. You know, it's hardened bone is what it is. You know, skull plate. Saying, you know, it's basically in that nervous system. Is, you know,
It's
through the spinal
column up to the brain.
up to the brain. Yeah.
It's
Lymph nodes and things of that nature. That's where they test for it. And I'd be interested to know how they're testing to find out that they don't have CWD without killing them. What method are they using to see if these elk are testing? There's got to be something they're looking for. You know, it'd be interesting. Maybe
I don't know how they do. I don't know. I'll be honest with you, fellas. If it wasn't for you all, I wouldn't know as much as I do from watching your all show.
Well, that's what happens when you get a state like up here and get thrown into the hotbed of it. And there's enough stuff going on around.
It blows up, and it's like, wait a minute, we got to figure out what's going on here.
And you start learning that, and you start reading it, and you start reading from different people and the different opinions, and you know what? But that's good to hear though, because that's kind of what we've kind of been is trying to get the word out about it and formulate your own opinion as to what's going on and how you want to attack and how you want to handle this.
You know, up until probably this last year or two, you know, I knew about it, and I'd done some reading on it and educated myself somewhat on it. There's no expert by any stretch of the imagination, nor am I now. But I tried to read up on it, but in the last year or so, I bet you, especially here in the last 2 or 3 months, I've watched probably 20 or 25 different videos or podcasts or listened to them, you know, in the last couple of months, plus reading articles. It's right now, it just seems like everybody's talking about it, and which is good. I think it's a good thing, you know, no matter what side of the fence you're on.
Right.
Is to get yourself educated about it.
Got to have good discussion. That's important. Yeah. Good, sensible discussion.
Right. Now, up in those areas there where they've got CWD, there in West Virginia, are they increasing any of the quotas on deer kill up there, or is it just pretty much status quo for that as well?
I believe it's just pretty much status quo, like you said. I don't think they're doing anything different. No,
they're not trying to reduce the herd at all.
Do you have in West Virginia? Do you have mandatory deer check?
Not no more.
Not anymore. That's interesting.
Ooh.
Not up until about 3 years ago. We had to take it to a game check place.
Mm-hmm.
Now we do it online.
Oh, so you still have it, but you just do it online. You register it.
Right. We don't take it to we have like myself. I have a DNR number that's mine, and I get on the DNR website, punch in my DNR account number, and then I fill in that I killed a buck with a rifle on this date at this time at this county, and then it kind of makes a file for me, and I can go back through the years now for the last 3 years, and I can see everything that I checked in.
Oh, okay. And then, but do you have to do that within a certain amount of time after you shoot the deer?
24 hours.
Okay.
So it is a mandatory check.
Mandatory check. Okay.
Well, I was thinking mandatory game checking station. That's what
right. Yeah. Well, you just proved a point. You can use the online, or you can use a phone call, right?
Yes. Yeah, you can call them in.
There you go.
So they're keeping track of harvest numbers. They know where the deer are coming from. The thing that's nice, I think, about the mandatory, or a check station, I should say, not mandatory, but the check station part, at least here in Michigan, when you take them in, they'll take and look at the jawbone, and they'll age the deer for you, you know, and get an age on it as well. And then if you want, you can submit the head for testing. Depending on if you're coming from if you're in a CWD zone,
you have to.
You have to. But like where we hunt in a TB zone, we're worried about TB. We take and submit the heads as well.
Right.
Unless it's a buck. You know, if it's a buck, then, you know,
if it's a buck and you want it mounted,
then you take it to your taxidermist and have that done.
Yeah, they'll pull out the skull for you.
Yep.
And
but there's other ways to tell as well. You know, I mean, they'll look at the chest cavity to see if there's nodules inside, and you can tell when you open it up if it's got full-blown TB or not. So.
Right.
But that's something you guys are not dealing with down there, I take. There's no TB.
No.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting, regionally how, one herd will have this or another herd will have a little of that. What about EHD? You guys deal with that, EHD or blue tongue?
Yes.
Okay.
It's very bad. It hit us about 3 years ago. It hit us very bad. Some nice bucks was lost. Just in a county just north of Lincoln here in Boone County, in certain areas, people had videos. Some very nice, and some bucks wasn't even out of velvet and was dying.
Yeah, no, because right now, it's if you have it, it should be right about now.
Yeah, end of August, 1st September.
Yeah, it's right about now. So
I'll tell you what.
Oh, they had some pitiful videos of the deers that.
Oh yeah, it's sad.
That's torture. Yeah.
We're bumping up on our last break here, so let's take our last break, come back, and we'll wrap up the show after that. So we're going to step outside, and we'll be right back here in just a few minutes.
Anybody on the live stream? Yes, Denny. Denny Steiner. Hi, guys. Just a note, I'll be out of commission for a while, but no worries. And I said, keep us posted. He will let everybody know when he's able, and he's sure his daughter will be all over it.
Thoughts and prayers to you, big fella.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Save this one off. And you ready, Dan?
I'm ready. Last segment of the show.
All right. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Last segment
of the show, and we're talking with Mr. West Virginia himself.
That's right. Lim Walker game calls. Tim and I, we have a common bond. Did you know that, Danny?
Should I be worried about why you guys have a common bond?
You know I'm an Alabama fan, right?
Yes, you are.
Who's the coach at Alabama? Nick Saban. And where's he from? Where's he from, Tim?
West Virginia.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
The best Virginia.
The best Virginia. I like that.
I'm sorry. Arnold Killian says it's illegal to harvest any part of an elk in West Virginia, including the antlers. I think his opinion is that he thinks the DNR is just concerned about shed hunters selling the horns for profit.
Could be. Okay. So they're restoring it currently. They're not hunting. You're not hunting elk over there. They're not having a hunt yet, are they?
No. It's only been in effect for 2 years now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll take you a few years, and hopefully you get to where Michigan got to the point where they said, let's have an elk season.
What was it, 78, 79, the first elk drop?
The last season in Michigan
was that moose? That was moose.
The last season in Michigan was like the early 60s, 63, 64.
Okay, it was the moose drop that we brought.
Then we had a moose drop in the upper.
That was 78, 79. They had another one, like 83, 84,
somewhere
85.
There, yeah. And then the elk, there was no hunting elk, and then eventually they got those numbers up to where we have an elk season.
Yeah.
And they're trying to work on the moose, but moose is just not happening.
It's not the population is not increasing like the elk did when they really started trying to protect them and bring them back. So
okay, Don Gibson is all over this saying go Mountaineers.
Okay. Football season starts next week. Can you tell? Matter of fact, that's a little off subject, but Tim, I did see that you were at a high school football game here this weekend, were you not?
Yeah, I was on a date with my wife. Me and her went to the opening game of the Chapmanville-Sissonville High School this past Friday.
And
Chattanooga Regional High.
Is that where you or her went?
No.
Okay.
But our daughter will be going there.
Okay.
No, I went to Man High School in Man, West Virginia. They lost Thursday night.
Uh-oh.
She went to Harts High, and they do not have a high school anymore because they were combined in with Chatlansville, during consolidation.
Okay.
And they never did have a football. They always had a basketball team, no football.
Oh, okay. Not even an 8-man football team?
Nothing.
Okay, because here in Michigan, depending on where you are in your rank, we've got classes 1 through 8, but then if your school drops below a certain number, you're able to play 8-man football. shorter.
Really?
Yeah, it's a same length of field, just not as wide.
Yeah, it's a little different.
And it's actually really fun to watch because you got two-way players usually, and it's a really big. It's kind of cool that they still have something that they can get into.
Right.
Wow. Okay. They consolidated Harts High and Chattanville High, and it's actually two different counties. It's Logan County and Lincoln County, and they named it Chattanville Regional High School, and that's where my daughter will be going.
Okay.
But no, me and her neither. We don't have no ties whatsoever. But it was the first game of the season, and me and her, we had plans on all three of us going. And my little girl, she backed out right at the end to stay with Grandma. And so, but me and her went, had a good time, got some popcorn, watched the game, and then came home. So, like Mike said, it's football time. It's football season. It's time to.
Nothing better than high school and college football, I say.
Absolutely.
No, there's not.
It's good stuff.
No, there's not.
That's good stuff.
I mean, it's something that they're playing for something.
Right,
Absolutely.
but then on Saturday you went and saw another friend of yours play in football.
Yeah. Actually, there's two of them. There was Lucas Browning. Lucas he's part of my call team. He just joined up this year, and Lucas Browning, he's a great kid. He's number 60. I posted his picture on there. And then Josh Pearson, his son Joshua, he plays for the middle school too. He was 61, so I kind of had two different players I was pulling for watching them play. They had a middle school Grid-A-Rama in Chapmansville. So, and I tell you what, that was just as enjoyable as the high school team was.
Very nice.
Getting their feet wet into the ranks of football.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
And some of them knew what some of them finally know what a hard hit was.
Right?
Yeah. You learn real quick. Well, I tell you what, we got a few minutes here left. We'll turn tables here a little bit. If you got any questions for us, I mean, we've talked a lot on the phone back and forth, but you got an opportunity here. Is there anything you got questions for us that you want answered?
Do you all have a moose season?
Not yet.
So our moose population that we do have in Michigan, which is limited to the Upper Peninsula, what they did back in 70s and 80s is they went over to Ontario, Canada, and got some moose from there, helicoptered them over into the Upper Peninsula, dropped them off, and that was the hopes was that they would establish a moose population there, which they did, which I don't know the number of right now.
This didn't really take off too
But it hasn't taken off to the point where they can call it. There's been rumors in the last few years of thinking of doing a limited hunt, but right now the numbers aren't supporting a hunt.
So that is on my bucket list.
To go moose hunting?
I want to do a Yukon moose hunt.
So, what I know now, and knowing the relatives that I have up in Quebec, back in the day when I was young, and their moose hunting camp was across the lake.
Across Lake Superior?
No, across their lake that they lived on up in Quebec.
Okay.
So they would just jump in the boat, zip across the water, go to the top of the hill where the cabin was, and that's where their moose hunting was.
Okay.
So, their moose are not the Yukon moose where you see the paddles.
Right.
They're not like that. They're more of a tined moose.
Okay.
So
they don't have the big, wide, sweeping antlers on
right.
them. Paddle antlers.
The ones that they've gotten I've seen was just the tines.
Okay. Interesting.
But Yukon that's an interesting one. What else is on that bucket list, your buddy?
Kill my slam for the turkeys.
Okay.
Me and myself and a few other guys are planning on making a trip to Texas next year in the spring. We're looking up for outfitters right now. We're going after the Rios.
Okay.
I've always wanted to hunt in Texas.
Yeah, I've heard you say that on your show a couple times. That's kind of like one of your destinations is to hunt Texas.
Yeah, it's just watching them on the Outdoor Channel, the Sportsman's Channel, and seeing these videos, and all these turkeys that's down in Texas. I'm thinking, man, I would be in heaven, And that, plus, I've always wanted to go to Texas. I know it sounds crazy, but I got one friend of mine that actually, me and him are the one that's instrumental in doing this. He doesn't want to fly. So we're looking, and he's never flown, and I've never flown. I've never had my feet, I've never been in an airplane. So we're probably going to be driving. I'm probably going to be seeing more parts of the country that I've ever thought about seeing. If it's the Lord's will, we get to go. So, Sonny Priest, if he's still watching, we're going to be driving. It's going to be a 24-hour trip down and a 24-hour trip back, and it's like a 3-day hunt. So it'll be a long week, but I want to enjoy it.
So 2 days to get there.
That's a
No, it's just one. Actually, you can be down there in 24 hours. To the one outfitter that we're looking at, that we've been talking to, it's actually 21 hours. That's straight driving.
Wow, that's a lot of driving.
Yeah.
I've done that one time like that when we went out to Colorado. 36 hours of driving. About killed me.
Right?
I slept for a day, I think, once we got there. So, yeah, that's a long haul, brother.
Was you out there to go hunting?
Yeah, Kevin Hutchings and I went out there in 2008 to mule deer hunt. Drove out to, we were right up on the Wyoming border in northern central Colorado. Beautiful country, beautiful.
Now there's a couple spots like in is it Kansas out there that you can get both types of turkeys?
New Mexico has them.
Okay.
Yeah, a buddy of mine hunts. I believe it's on the South Dakota, Wyoming, or South Dakota, Montana border. Wyoming, Sundance, Wyoming. That's like a border town, I believe. And he'll hunt in both states. And he says, depending on how far in you go, you can go further west and get Rios out that way. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So next year, Tim's going to get the Grand Slam.
No, I still got to do my Osceola. I haven't got my Florida yet.
Okay.
I had the opportunity to do it, and I let it go. I actually had family living down there, and they invited me down, and I never went. And that's a shame on me. But we get out and get the Rio and possibly the Miriam, and then maybe in a couple of years head down to Florida and go out and grab my Osceola.
There you go. Sounds like a plan.
Definitely. Well, I tell you what, we'll wrap up the show here, the podcast portion of the show. For those of you listening to the podcast, we'll continue the live stream here for a few minutes and kind of wrap things up. But I tell you what, for everybody that's on the podcast tonight, we appreciate you listening in.
Yeah, and if you've been listening, we've been talking to Tim. Tim, one more time, tell us where we can find your calls.
Get the calls out.
Facebook at Lim Walker Game Calls, Instagram Lim Walker Game Calls, and YouTube Lim Walker Game Calls. I do not have a website, but you can either look me up at Tim Sias on Facebook or obviously Lim Walker Game Calls.
And if you don't remember that, get a hold of us here at Utmost Journal, and we'll point you in the right direction.
We'll get you right to them.
So, all right, that'll do it for us on the podcast this week, folks. All right, so here on the live stream.
Let's see, we've had a couple comments. Don Gibson, go Hillbillies. And
that's my mascot of Man High School.
There you go.
And Arnold Killian says, "Where's Man, West Virginia?" Tim Sias.
He knows exactly where Man, West Virginia.
You gotta love when people give you the business
Live on air,
right? That's good stuff.
Yeah.
What are friends for, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Actually, a bunch of them. There's a couple guys from the pro staff's watching, and there's my baby cousin, that Leanne. She's watching on. So
they're watching you, man.
Barry working. So
good stuff tonight.
Absolutely, good stuff.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to the canning episode.
Yeah,
I am too.
When does y'all's deer season start there?
15th. I believe it's the 15th of September.
Your archery season starts that soon.
No, wait a minute. Let me make sure, Mike.
I was going to say, do you have velvet bucks there?
That was going to be my next question.
So, but Arnold can tell you.
Arnold, speak up.
We want to know when West Virginia's archery season starts.
Right.
Oh, here we go. September 29th.
Okay, so now, does that start? Is that the last Saturday?
That's the last Saturday.
Does that start every year on the last Saturday in September?
They just started doing it. They wasn't about 3-4 years ago. It started opening earlier. We wasn't getting it open until like the middle of October.
Really? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, they would open the squirrel season the first Saturday. The second Saturday was archery season, and the third Saturday was turkey season.
Okay.
And everything went to the Saturday before rifle season.
Okay. All right.
And then when rifle season came in, that week everything was out. You couldn't do nothing. You couldn't hunt. Not even small game for the first 3 days. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, rifle season.
Okay.
Because people being out with high-powered rifles.
Right.
And then it's pretty much changed now.
Yeah, ours opens on the 1st of October every year.
You can see the 4 counties that we have archery only. You can continue to archery hunt.
Okay.
But the rest of the counties, you can archer, you can bow hunt, but you have to have blaze orange on during rifle season.
Right. Yep.
Yep.
You got to abide by the rule, the
season
gun
rules.
The season rules. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Boy, look at that! You ask a question, and Kevin Parker chimes in, Don Gibson chimes in, Arnold chimes in.
Nice. Ask and you shall receive.
Kevin's part of the
Pro staff.
And I don't know if you guys seen the maple syrup that I posted a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
He made that. It's West Virginia maple.
Okay.
He done an excellent job. Kevin's a great guy. He's a great hunter, and he's actually getting fired up for his bear season starting this Saturday.
Yeah, he said it's right. Bear season starts the 22nd. He says.
Yeah, see, our bear season starts about that same time here in Michigan, at least the zone that I'm in.
We got one that's starting here to September 1st, and there's certain parts of the state now where he's at. He may not open up to the 22nd.
Right.
But
Yeah.
where I'm at here in Logan and Lincoln counties, they're opening up the 1st.
Okay. Yeah. See, then you got a couple seasons, archery seasons that are going to start this Saturday, September 1. Usually, Miller's going to be out in Dakotas, I think, and then I think Kentucky's going off. And
Kentucky starts usually, I think, the middle, like the second Saturday or third
something
Saturday.
like that. So they all get a chance at Velvet Bucks.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to take a crack at a velvet buck. That'd be nice.
There was a friend of mine on Facebook. I can't remember who it was. I mean, the guy that we're friends with here. He was in Tennessee and killed a big one yesterday.
Okay, so they've already started.
Yeah, yesterday was their first one. This is their first ever velvet archery.
Oh, okay.
In Tennessee, and it was a nice buck.
Man,
I was heading Friday night. I was going out to shoot high school football for the TV station, and I was traveling down the freeway and heading out towards Corunna.
right.
And out there at the M13 interchange, there's a little field off to the side, and there was 4 bucks out there, all in velvet. And I mean, they were all wall hangers. I mean, antlers sticking way above their heads, way outside their ears. And I'm just like, why can't you be in front of my stand in about a month and a half, It was beautiful bucks out in the middle of this bean field. And it was just, I broke my neck driving, I had to keep my eyes on the road, but it was nice seeing them.
Right.
It was real nice, so.
Now we was talking about Arnold there. Where he lives up the road from me and everything, and he lives back. Actually, he's the last house in that hollow. And once you get past his house and the way everything opens up, it's drains that comes into the main hollow. He has some real nice deer, real nice bucks that's into it. Now here where I'm at, I haven't seen a buck all summer.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't seen. Now I've got how we've talked about the does and the fawns and twins and everything. Like that. Man, they're all over the place.
Did you see any bucks last year?
Yeah, I did, but not none this year.
Yeah.
Actually, Danny, I had one that was eating in my garden. I had an 8-point. When I'd go out to work in the morning, it was having an early breakfast on my green beans.
Right. But you haven't seen a buck this year.
No, I have not. I don't think not that I can recall. I haven't seen the first buck around my house.
That's interesting.
But plenty of does. We've got
Right.
them. They're bedding right down in my father-in-law's garden. When we come home from the picnic today, there was 2 does and 2 fawns jumped out as we was going by. So they were going to town on, and but these green beans is done. I mean, they're eating what's the leftovers of them. So
Right.
They're mowing it for you.
yeah, pretty much. And there's still some little bit of corn left what he's growing, but what he growed up. But they're getting the what's left the crumbs of it.
Right.
But I have not seen the first buck. Now the bucks might be traveling through here at night. I'm not saying there's not any bucks. They're just I haven't got to see them, and it's an area bad that this is like a travel area.
Right. Exactly. They might not be traveling right now a lot, but that's not to
Well,
say.
also too the mass is falling, and the red oaks and everything is hit real good.
Okay.
Probably sticking to in there thick where the acorns are at right now and taking care of them.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
You have any issues this year with coyotes? You guys covered up in them?
No.
That's
No.
good.
Actually, I've seen more traveling on the interstate here on the 4-lane where I live than I've heard or anything around here.
Okay.
It's not nowhere near like we used to. I used to hear them at night, 3 o'clock in the morning. They'd wake me up over across my neighbor's house, behind their house, howling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now they're not doing it. Now it's nothing.
We used to have them here that way.
Yep.
And I haven't heard a coyote probably around here in 2 years, maybe.
I haven't heard them in a few months. Usually
Yeah.
they'll come out they'll be in the park,
Yeah.
but I heard them probably a month or 2 back.
You know, and I know they run on cycles usually.
Right.
So, well, I'll tell you what. Everybody here sounds like they've.
Yeah, I think so.
Facebook's kind of slowing down a little bit. We're going to go ahead and sign off here on the
We'll sign off on the live stream.
live stream. Tim, if you hang on just a moment, we'll chat just for a minute and then let you go. So, everybody out there in Facebook land that's on the live stream that's watched tonight, we appreciate it. And as always, you can find this over on our Facebook page. You also find it on YouTube on Wednesday when Danny posts it.
Yep.
And make sure you share if you like the show. Share the show if you can for us. Spread the good word around. And remember to go over Friday night over on Facebook on the limb with Tim at 8 o'clock. I always say 7. I don't know why. That's because that's our show's on 7, I think. But 8 o'clock on Friday nights, you can catch Tim's show as well. Make sure you get over there. It's always a good time because you never know. We start talking turkey and all of a sudden somebody gets on a rabbit and we start chasing rabbits. It's a lot of good discussion over there. So appreciate what you're doing on your show as well, Tim. It's a good time. We appreciate it. So, all right, that'll do it for us this week, folks. Y'all take care.